The people around us either bring out the best in us or bring out the absolute worst in us. Are these people pushing me to be a better version of myself, either through their words or through their lives? We also need to be careful that we are not, because of our desire to help someone, putting ourselves in places which will again impact us. So be very careful about where you go and what you do in order to help someone, but definitely be helping someone. Welcome back to a Life Under Construction podcast. I'm your host, Rhoda Daniel, and I'm extremely glad to have you here with me for episode 3 of season 3 of A Life Under Construction. If this is your first time here, in this season, we are talking all about getting sculpted because I believe that all of us are getting sculpted into the person that we were always meant to be through our circumstances, through the people around us, but most importantly, through the choices that we're making. I believe that the chisel is in our hands, so let's get sculpted. In the last episode, we talked about our life circumstances. We talked about suffering and grief and pain and how that shapes us. Today, we're going to be talking about people and how they shape our lives. I would like to start this episode with a disclaimer that in this matter, like in all matters, I'm not perfect. I'm still learning, I'm still growing. So I'm just going to share with you the things that I have learned so far in the hope that it's going to help you. When it comes to people and community and friends, we've all heard these statements floating around. Statements such as, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, or show me your friends and I'll show you who you are, or you become who you surround yourself with. You might have even had parents like me who told you when you were younger that don't spend time with so and so person because the qualities they have are not that great, and if you spend more time with them you will become like them. But as we've grown older, as we have our own choices to make, I've realized that we are not really choosing the people in our lives. They're just there. Maybe because they were once friends and they continue to be friends. Maybe because of ease of access. Maybe you meet these same people every single day and therefore they're a big part of your life. Maybe because you like the same things or you dislike the same things and complain about the same things. Whatever the reason may be, I think we have not really looked at our lives or looked at the people in our lives and asked ourselves the question, do these people or does this person make me a better human being? Of course, we do also need to ask ourselves the question, are we making them a better human being? But that's a completely separate episode and we will talk about that. But today I would like to encourage you to do a little bit of a friend audit, to list down the people in your life and go over that list one by one. Does this person make me a better human being? Does this person make me a better human being? Why are we doing this? We are not doing this to be mean spirited. We are not doing this to disrespect people. We are doing this because if you look at it, if you really think about it, you will know that the people around us either bring out the best in us or bring out the absolute worst in us. This is the truth, whether we want to believe it or not. If you spend some time thinking about it, you will realize that there are certain people in your life that bring out the best version of you, bring out your best qualities, bring out the best aspects of your life. And there are those other people who make you worse, who bring out your worst qualities. Now, if you think about the people who bring out the best version of you, you will know that when you spend time with those people, you come out of that time feeling better, feeling greater, feeling more energized, feeling more inspired. These are the people who hold you accountable. They tell you when you're doing great things, but they also tell you when you're doing wrong things. These are the people who encourage you to be better, push you to be better. They call you higher. They don't let you be how you are. In fact, they encourage you to be a better version of yourself. They are the ones constantly reminding you of your dreams, constantly reminding you to pursue your dreams. They are also the ones who remind you of who you are and what you stand for. They encourage you, they influence you, they inspire you. Being with them makes you a better you. Now, I have a friend like that. In fact, just last weekend, she attended a 2 day, 3 day seminar on practicing compassion and wisdom in daily life. And this was not a seminar or a lecture that was compulsory for her. It's not related to what she does for a full time job. She has a full time job, she has a very important job. But this was something that she did or wanted to do because she is interested in growing as a human being, as a person. And because she did that, I know that when I call her next, when I talk to her next, she's going to pass on the wisdom that she learned in that 2 day, 3 day seminar to me. And also, because she did that, I ask myself the question, am I doing enough for bettering myself? Am I using my weekends well? Am I wasting my life, or am I actually using the time that I have, limited though it might be? Just her example, just her being in my life makes me a better human being. And it has for so many years, because she is constantly being an example to me to be a better human being. She pushes me to be a better person even without saying a word. I think we need more people like this in our lives. We need to be inspired, we need to be encouraged, we need to be pushed to be better individuals, because our tendency is to be complacent. So look at your list once again. Look at the people on your list. Look at the people you're spending the most time with, and ask yourself the question again, are these people pushing me to be a better version of myself, either through their words or through their lives? Now, we also know the people who bring out the worst in us. They're not bad people, but they have certain qualities that somehow bring out those qualities in us as well. When we spend time with them, we become more negative. We start complaining more. We start judging more. We start becoming more lazy, just because they have normalized those qualities in their life. And because they have normalized it, it becomes normal for us as well. Because they are not pursuing great things, because they are not pursuing bettering themselves, we feel it's okay not to better ourselves, because that's what the people around us are doing. If we think about it, we know who these people are as well. If you've not thought about it, maybe you don't know who those people are, but if you actually spend time thinking about it, you know the people who you spend time with, and after spending time with them, you feel drained out, you feel like there's a negative energy in your life, you feel gross, you feel horrible, you feel not like yourself. Those are the people who we need to actually limit time with. I had a group of friends long ago who were very close to me, who were a big part of my life, but for various reasons, they were not in my life anymore. And I decided to have coffee with them, to spend some time with them. I thought it would be good to have them back in my life. I thought we once were friends, we can be friends again. But that 1.5 hours that I spent with them, I just remember feeling like something was off. I remember after finishing up, but I also remember while I was in conversation with them, feeling that I was not myself. And obviously, afterwards, I realized that I didn't want to spend time with them. Now, they are not bad people, but they had certain qualities that I didn't want in my life. Or because of those qualities, I realized that I was turning into something or someone that I didn't recognize. When I was with them, I was becoming the quiet, doesn't stand up for herself Rhoda. When I was with them, I was becoming the I don't like to gossip, but just because you're gossiping, I'm going to also gossip Rhoda. I became the I don't like material things, but because I don't want to say anything right now, I'm just going to agree with you, Rhoda. I became a different version of Rhoda that I looked at and realized that that's not who I wanted to be. Now, it was not their fault. They didn't force me to be that version. but being in their company brought out that version of me. You can also say that maybe it was my fault. Why couldn't I be strong enough and stand up for what I believed in? And maybe that's right. But I wasn't strong enough. Maybe now I could be in their company and stand up for what I believe in and stand up for who I am. But I also think that even now, with all the clarity that I have on who I am and who I want to be, if I spend too much time with them or someone like them, I'm going to turn into them. That's just the way it is going to be. When I was younger, I didn't want to believe my parents when they said that. I didn't want to feel like I was so weak that I would turn into someone else just by surrounding myself with them. But now that I'm older, now that I'm hopefully wiser, I know that it is the truth. We like to think that we are strong, but we're not. We like to think that we can be different, but in the company of the same kind of people, our tendency is to move to the lowest common denominator, not the highest common factor. That's just who we are as human beings. It's so much easier to become like the masses, and therefore it becomes important to see or assess who the masses are around us, who the people are around us. I believe that the people around us should have similar values to us. They're not going to be perfect, definitely not, but they should be in pursuit of those values, in pursuit of greatness. They should be people who want to grow, who want to evolve. It is kind of a red flag when you have people around you who say that this is who I am. I'm not going to change. This is how I was born. This is how my personality is. This is how I think, and take it or leave it. I don't think I want to be around such people because I believe that the best people are those who are willing to grow, who are humble enough to say that I don't know, I'm still learning, and are pursuing learning and growth and evolution. They don't want to remain where they are, and they also won't let you remain where you are. These are the people I believe that we need to be surrounded by. This is where we are going to thrive. Now, when I say our people, I'm talking about all the people who surround you on a day to day basis, the people you spend most time with. This is your family, these are your friends, these are your classmates, these are your colleagues, these are your neighbors, all the people who you spend time with. Because all of these people either add to or subtract from our lives, not by what they give us, but by who they are. They either add to our lives or subtract from our lives, and therefore it becomes important that we look at them with clear eyes and again ask ourselves the question, are they adding to my life or are they subtracting from my life? Now, I know some of you may say that we can't choose our family. What can I do when it is family members who are subtracting from my life? Well, I agree, you can't choose your family, but you can choose the amount of time you spend with certain members of your family. If there are certain members in your family who are always complaining, who are always negative, who are always pulling you down, you do have to step away a little bit and spend a little less time with those family members. Not disrespectfully, not rudely, not by making a big statement that I don't want you in my life, but by maybe spending time with other family members or other people, doing other things that add value to your life, and reducing the time spent with those particular people in your family who are negatively impacting your life. That's a choice that we can make and we should make because we just have this one life. And if we don't make these choices in this one life, I think the quality of our life is then on us. We can't blame our circumstances. We can't blame other people. We can only blame ourselves because we haven't made the choice to either distance ourselves from people we shouldn't be with or be closer to the people we should be with. Now, these people who bring out the best in you, who add value to your life by who they are, don't necessarily have to live close to you, or you don't necessarily have to spend every single day with them. most of my people don't live in the same city as I do. They live all over the place. And though at one point of time that did bother me, I did wonder whether I could find my people in the same city as me. I think I'm past that time because I've realized that it's always the quality, not the quantity, that matters. I would rather spend my time talking to a friend once in 2 weeks who actually encourages me, who actually inspires me, who actually adds value to my life, than to spend time with someone on a daily basis who doesn't add value to my life, who negatively impacts my life, who drains me, who discourages me. Yes, that means that there are certain days in my life where I am alone. I don't have anyone to hang out with, but I've realized that's fine. Because if out of loneliness, I start hanging out with people, maybe for that evening alone, I don't feel lonely anymore, but it does have a lasting impact on my life. The more time I spend with these people who don't have the qualities that I have, who don't have the value system that I have, who are not pursuing a life of greatness and growth and evolution, I will end up being like them, unfortunately, no matter how strong I am in my dedication or ambition or will. Our willpowers are really, really weak. So I would rather not have anybody to hang out with this weekend and talk to my friend for maybe half an hour on a phone call than spend 2, 3 hours with someone who doesn't benefit my life in any way. And if you feel that you don't have these kind of people around you, which is valid, some of us are in situations or find ourselves in situations where we don't have inspiring people around us, go to books, go to YouTube. I have had times in my life where I have learned only through books, only through YouTube videos. There are enough inspiring people online because even those people, though you may not know them, though you're not interacting with them, they can become your people because if you expose yourself to greatness, you will eventually become great. If you expose yourself to good qualities, even online, you will start having those qualities in you. It's just inevitable. So, if you don't have these people in real life, if you don't have these people in your city, look for them in books, read books, expose yourself to good people, and they will impact your life in a way that I can't even tell you. It is true what they say. You become who you surround yourself with, and that even includes people online or people in books. Whoever you spend the most time with, that is who impacts you the most. Research has shown that though we are so well connected by technology right now, we are still connected with people from our childhoods, we are still connected with extended family who may not live in the same country as we do. We as humans have our limits to how many relationships we can maintain well. Author Jenny Allen explains this in her book Find Your People, and she says you have your inner circle. These are the 2 to 5 people who are your people, the people who you do life with, the people who know you, who see you, who understand you inside and out. This is your inner circle. Then comes your village, and your village is from between 5 to 50 people. That's it. Beyond that are just acquaintances, people you talk to passing by, people you say hi to in the cafeteria, people whose number you may have, but you're not actually talking to them on a weekly or a daily basis. Those are your acquaintances. But your village is between 5 to 50 people. So, in total, we can maintain relationships only with this 50 to 55 people. For some of you, it may be lesser than that, but this is the maximum. And that is why it becomes so important who you are letting into your village and your inner circle. The quality of those people matter because they impact the quality of your life. Now, she also does add that the people in your village can be categorized into 2 categories. One is the people you need, and the other is the people who need you. And I really like that categorization because I truly believe that in life, apart from the people we are doing life with or we want to do life with, we also should have people who we are pouring into, who can't give us anything in return, who are still themselves evolving learning and growing, but we are encouraging them, we are serving them, we are mentoring them, we are trying to influence them. That category of people is also important, and they will be an exception to the rule, that they might not be making us better individuals, but we are making them, or at least trying to make them better individuals. So they'll be an exception to the rule, but I believe they are also important to have in our lives. But one word of caution is, the minute you find yourself being influenced rather than the influencer in their lives, you need to take a step back. Because sometimes we are trying to help someone, we are trying to mentor someone, but unfortunately, their lives impact our lives, and we start becoming like them. And the minute that starts happening, we need to take a step back, separate ourselves for a little bit before going back again. We also need to be careful that we are not, because of our desire to help someone, putting ourselves in places which will again impact us. I know there is a desire in many of us to help others, and we go to their situation or their place in order to help them. But what happens when we put ourselves in those situations is we tend to get influenced ourselves, because again, we are not as strong as we think we are. So we need to be careful about how we are going about influencing them. So for example, there might be a group of people or a person in our life who we are trying to influence to make better decisions on a weekend. They might be spending their weekends overindulging in drugs, maybe, and you have a desire to help them, and you have a desire to pull them out of that situation. You cannot go to the places they go. You cannot spend time with the people they spend time with in order to pull them out of the situation. You may have to bring them into your situation. You may have to maybe call them to play a sport on the weekend, call them for football, maybe, so that they are put in your situation and therefore they are influenced by your situation. So be very careful about where you go and what you do in order to help someone, but definitely be helping someone. I don't think we can separate ourselves or isolate ourselves so much from the people who actually need us. We need to be available for those people as well. If we only isolate and if we only mingle with the people who are like minded, we are creating silos and we're not actually making this world a better place. So, yes, there is a category of people who we do life with, who are in our village, who we need, but there is a category of people who need us, and let's also be available for those people. We all have very limited time. We all are busy. We all have things to do. We cannot do everything for everyone. We cannot be everything for everyone. We cannot be available for everyone all the time. Of course, for the people in your village, for your inner circle, you do need to take out time. You do need to make yourself available. But again, we can't do everything. I know personally that I haven't been available. I haven't been able to attend even weddings of some of the closest people in my life, unfortunately. But I also know that I am there and I will be there for their worst days. And I think I prefer that somehow. I would rather be there for someone's worst day than be there for their best day, because I think there are more people available on your best day than on your worst days. And I would rather be there on the worst day of your life. I will be there. I will sit with you. I will cry with you. I will be on the phone with you. I will just be silent with you. I would rather be there for that. And so I'm very conscious of the fact that I can't be there for everyone all the time. But I also am conscious that for my people, I will make the time when I am needed. And that is what I can do. And that is what I want to do. Because that is what relationships mean to me, is being available for someone when they need me. I do want to highlight a few things about relationships as we come to the close of this episode, because we are talking a lot about choosing our people, choosing our inner circle, choosing our village, but relationships are messy. Relationships are not straightforward, as you all know. But the way I see relationships is, and I hope that you are able to see it in this way as well, is that relationships are more about giving rather than about getting. It's about serving someone, it's about loving someone, it's about sacrificing for someone, it's about going above and beyond for someone without expecting anything in return. And I think that's key, because unfortunately, we have become a culture where we will only be friends with someone if they can give us anything in return. I've had friends at different points of my life who have only wanted to be friends with me because of what I could offer them. But I know now that the people in my life are only friends with me because they want to be friends with me. It's not because of what I can offer them. The minute we start looking at relationships as getting rather than giving, there's going to be a problem. The second thing about relationships that I want to highlight is that relationships are not meant to be transactional. It's not meant to be you do this thing for me and I will do this thing for you. It's not going to be 50-50. It's going to be 100%, 100%. I will give you 100% of what I can right now, and you will give me 100% of what you can right now. And that 100% might not be enough right now, but that's fine. It's what is possible. So there are times where my friend may not have ability to even give me time or energy, and that's fine, because I will give the 100% that I can at that point of time, not looking at it in a transactional way. At the end of the day, we need to remember that we live in a very broken and imperfect world. We ourselves are broken and imperfect people. I think unfortunately we have become so good at cutting people off the minute they make a mistake, the minute they do something to hurt us, not realizing that we are as imperfect as they are, and maybe one day we will make the same mistake. And what we need at that point of time is for them to forgive us, for them to give us grace, and for them to still keep us as a part of their lives. As I said in the beginning, we are not choosing people for perfection. We are not choosing perfect people. We are not choosing people who are ideal, because no one is. We are choosing to surround ourselves with people who have similar values to us, who are seeking to evolve, seeking to grow, seeking to learn. Those are the kind of people we want to surround ourselves with. But as long as they are still growing and evolving and willing to learn from their mistakes, I think we have to be accepting of that fact, because relationships are imperfect, relationships are messy, and that's okay. That's the whole point of human relationships. There are so many books, podcasts, and videos about boundaries, and I think we have become so good at boundary setting that we have turned those boundaries into walls, and those walls are not letting love in. They are keeping love and people out just because we are so afraid of getting hurt. There is a time and place for boundaries, but not for walls. And when we build these walls, we start looking at our lives and we wonder why our lives are so unfulfilled, why we are feeling so isolated and lonely, even though we are surrounded by people. It's because of our own walls, it's because of our own boundaries that have become actual walls that keep the people out, that keep community out, that keep love out. So let's do life differently. Let's do things differently. Let's choose the people that we surround ourselves with, and let's choose to operate in love, in service, in sacrifice with these people. And I guarantee you, your life is not going to be the same. You will definitely see a difference in the quality of your relationships and the quality of your life. So I thank you for tuning in to this episode on Choose Your People. I hope that it was useful for you. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel or follow us on Spotify, because we are doing monthly episodes and you do not want to miss any of these episodes this year. If you're someone who already has your village, who already has your people, do tag them and comment down below sharing how they have impacted your life, because I'm sure everyone would be interested to know how people can benefit your life, because we all know experiences of how they have negatively impacted our lives, and we would love to know stories of how your best friend, your family member, your colleague, your neighbor has benefited your life in any way. So please comment that down below. If you have any questions or if you want to chat on this topic further, you can DM me on Instagram at a life under construction, or send me an email on write to us at a lifeunderconstruction.com. And I will see you again next month with another episode to help you get sculpted and help you live the life that you were always meant to live.